extremely hot and agitated. Some of us began messing around taking pictures because there was nothing else to do. Finally, we were informed that we were closing up shop. I remember being thankful because it was over 110 degrees that day and the hot water we were drinking was providing no relief. We started funneling into an alleyway to leave the area when some locals on rooftops above us started firing their AK-47s at us. We took cover along a wall and were returning fire. We could hear other fire coming from another platoon just a few blocks from us as well. On the net we could hear that they were taking small arms as well as RPG fire.
People standing down there. Stay firm. 5 to 6 individuals with AK-47s. Request permission to engage.
Roger that. We have no personnel east of our position, so you are free to engage over.
You're clear. All right, firing. What's the baseline? Let me know when you get it. Or shoot. Light them all up. Come on, fire. Hey, Roger.
That's when I heard it. The very distinct fire of an Apache 30mm cannon. And again, over and over. It was very close. We need to move to that position now, came over the net.
Alright, we just engaged all 8 individuals.
Myself and the team of soldiers I was with began running in the direction where we heard the Apache fire.
God damn it, Kyle. Alright, I hit my head. Got a bunch of bodies laying there. Oh yeah, look at those dead bastards. Nice. Thank you.
I was not even close to prepared for the carnage that I was about to walk onto. I saw what appeared to have been 3 men on a corner.
Got a big pile of bodies to the right on the corner.
Right here. Dismounted infantry and vehicles. Over.
It was an extreme shock to my system. They didn't look human. I know that they had to be at one time, but the destroyed carnage that I was looking at didn't appear to be. Then there was the smell. The smell was unlike anything I've smelled before. A mixture of feces, urine, blood, smoke, and something else indescribable. I saw an RPG next to one of the men and an AK-47.
We also have one individual appears to be wounded, trying to crawl away. He's getting up. If he has a weapon down in his hand? All I gotta do is pick up a weapon. Come on, buddy. If we see a weapon, we're gonna engage. Now, Bushmaster, we have a van that's approaching and picking up the bodies. Where's that van at? Right down there by the bodies. Okay, yeah. Bushmaster, Crazy Horse, we have individuals going to the scene. Looks like possibly picking up bodies and weapons. Let me engage.
Hey, we need to stop that. We can get down there. We can
shoot.
Do you see my look?
Roger. Break. Crazy Horse 1-8. Request permission to engage. Picking up the wounded. Yeah, we're trying to get permission to engage. Come on, let us shoot. Bushmaster, Crazy Horse 1-8. We're taking him. Bushmaster, Crazy Horse 1-8.
This is Bushmaster 7, go ahead.
Roger, we have a black SUV or bongo truck picking up the bodies. Request permission to engage.
Bushmaster 7, Roger. This is Bushmaster 7, Roger, engage.
1-8, engage. Clear. Come on. Clear. Clear. We're engaged. The van's disabled. Bud suited. Well, left. Clear left. Oh yeah, look at that, right through the windshield. Alright, there was 4 to 5 individuals in that truck, so I'm counting about 12 to 15.
Alright, bring the trucks in, clear down this area off.
Radio? Yes, Viper, 5 running, so 208 for zone 4, we go frequency. Yeah, just drove over a body. Yeah.
Viper 5-2, report free change zone 4.
Maybe there's a visual illusion, but it looked like it. No, they're dead, so. Van that was engaged, looks like a kid. Over.
Crying. I hear crying. Not cries of pain, but that of a small child who had just woken up from a horrible nightmare.
Yeah, it looks like we got some slight movement from the van that was engaged. Looks like a kid. Over.
I saw that there was a minivan, and the cries appeared to be coming from it. Myself and another soldier, a 20-year-old private, walked up to the passenger side van and looked inside. The private that I was with reeled back, began to vomit, and quickly ran away. What I saw when I looked in the van was a small girl about 4 years old on the passenger side of the bench seat. She had a severe belly wound and was covered in glass.
Roger, we need a evac this child. She's got a wounded in the belly.
The glass was in her hair and also in her eyes. Next to her, half on the floorboard, with his head resting on the seat, was a boy about 7 years old. He wasn't moving, and from the severe wound to the right side of his head, my first thought was that he was dead. In the driver's seat was who I immediately concluded must have been these children's father by the way he was hunched over the children in a protective manner. There was no way that the father had survived. I immediately grabbed the little girl and screamed for a medic. The medic and myself went into a house behind the van. There was a local man hiding in fear in his kitchen of his home. I yelled out to him to help me. He stood up and quickly grabbed a bucket of water, which the medic and I used to clean the girl off. I pulled as much glass from the little girl's eyes as I could so that she could blink. The whole time thinking, fuck, what the fuck, these are babies.
Hey, I need to get the brass to drop ramps. I got a wounded girl. We need to take the rest of my eye. Roger, I've got 11 Iraqi KIAs, 1 small child wounded, over.
Damn. Oh well. Oh, it's their fault for bringing their kids to a battle. That's right.
See, my son was born May 31st, 2007. I had yet to see him. And I had a daughter who was barely older than this girl. The medic radioed in that the little girl needed to be evacuated because there was nothing else he can do here. I handed the child to the medic, who then ran the girl to a waiting Bradley armored vehicle. I walked back to the van. I don't know why, or what told me to go back to the van. There was just something making me go back to the van. I looked inside the van again. Did the boy just move? Holy shit, the boy just moved. I grabbed the boy from the van and held him against my chest. I was screaming at this point, the boy's alive, the boy's alive. I started running to the Bradley in hopes that it wasn't leaving. At this point, the boy looked up at me. Then his eyes rolled back, and my heart sunk. It's okay, I have you. It's going to be okay, don't die, don't die. I squeezed him a little bit tighter. I put him into the Bradley as gently as I could.
Can you tell Battalion the 2 civilian children casualties are coming back to rest of my and the Bradley, over?
Roger, that's a negative on evac the 2 civilian kids to Rocky. They're going to have IVs will take them to a local hospital, over.
What the fuck are you doing, McCord? It was my platoon leader. You need to quit worrying about these fucking kids and pull security, he screamed. At the time, the only thing I can think of was, Roger that, sir. I said immediately and went to the rooftop to pull security. While on the roof, one of the soldiers took a picture of me. I didn't realize that the blood of the children was all over the front of me. Later that day, when we returned to the FOB, Forward Operating Base, everyone pretty much ignored what had happened. I couldn't. I went to my room to try to clean the children's blood from my uniform, fighting back tears from what I had seen. My emotions were taking over. The very thing that the Army taught us not to do in war, I was doing. My humanity and love for the human race was overcoming everything they taught me. My mind was reeling, the thoughts controlling every ounce of me. It was then I decided I needed to go see a mental health counselor. I went to a staff sergeant who was in my line and asked to speak with him. When I told him my feelings and how I was unable to deal properly, in the Army sense, with what I had just witnessed, his response was, "You need to suck that shit up. Quit being a pussy and get the sand out of your vagina. If you go to mental health, there will be repercussions, like being charged with malingering." I couldn't believe that needing to talk to somebody could constitute a crime in the Army. But like a good little soldier, I said Roger that, and went back to my room to cope the only way I knew how, which was by watching as many movies and listening to as much music as I could to escape the reality of what I was. I became extremely angry. I yelled at everyone. I yelled and was angry at my soldiers, my family, the civilians back home, but mostly I was angry with myself. I hated myself for what I was a part of. There were many days in Iraq that I dreamed for an IED or a sniper to take me out in the end pain I was feeling. Ever since that day, I live with this. It's burned into my head. I don't need to watch the movie. I see it every day. I hear the cries of the children when I close my eyes. I smell the smells. When it's quiet, I see the carnage like a slideshow. I'm hoping one day I can sleep a full night without the memories coming back to haunt me. The innocence lost. My friends lost. Hopefully one day I won't be so angry. Hopefully one day I'll help others see that they're not alone in valuing life.